This is Cai Wenji, and you have the great honor of listening to Lord Bish on the Get a Life podcast. Enjoy.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Get a Life podcast. I don't know what episode this is, and frankly, I don't care what episode this is. I kind of lost count. So, last episode we had Zombie Desu 13 to talk about Vocaloid, which was kind of weird in the sense that this is a gaming podcast, but it was an awesome episode nevertheless. And the episode before that we had KG Tang, who's an awesome guy. Anyway, so this episode people be like, oh Bish, who the hell's he got this time? So
let me jump in. You got Erin Fitzgerald. Hello! If you don't know who I am the voices of Make Hank and Naz from a television series called Ed, Edd and Eddy on Cartoon Network, but you can also hear me in games such as League of Legends, Skull Girls, Persona series, Dynasty Warriors series, Dragon's Dogma, Eternal Sonata, recently Last of Us just came out, and that was talking about zombies. I got to play the infected in that, so yeah, I get around a little. Nice to be here.
Well, it's lovely to have you here. So yeah, so you guys can't really say, oh Bish, you don't give us any good people. I got you a legend.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Game on.
What we're going to be talking about is Ed, Edd and Eddy, the awesome show that it is, Dynasty Warriors, of course, and
of course.
Skull Girls.
Skull Girl, right, because I am in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people don't really know what Skull Girls is, can you explain it?
Yeah, it is a badass fighting game with amazing 2D animation and currently all female badass characters. But there will be some guy characters joining the fray soon enough.
Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, because the entire Skullgirls community voted on who was going to be the next character. So yeah, they all know.
Oh, okay. Now I just feel like a jackass for saying that.
Not at all.
Because
how would you know? You wouldn't know.
I don't know.
If you didn't vote, you would know.
That seems fair. Now I seem kind of. I just call myself a jackass live on air. That's just weird.
That is a little strange.
I don't know.
Let's just We'll just pretend everyone who's listening, we just deleted it. It has been deleted.
No. It won't be deleted. People love that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't think you're a jackass.
Oh, thank you.
I think you're very lovely.
I'm just putting that out there, guys. If you think I'm a jackass, just tell me. That's fine.
Nice.
We were talking about Skullgirls, weren't we?
We were last,
yeah.
But you can change the subject. We can jump around if you like. I'm excellent at that.
We can explain more of it, because I called myself a jackass like halfway through.
Well, I play a character named Parasoul, and she is the princess of Canopy Kingdom, and she is fighting to save her kingdom from the Skull Girls. And there's some amazingly badass women that are kind of messed up. Like, my favorite characters to play, because it is a game that I do play, I like playing as Valentine. She is the kind of twisted nurse. Painwheel is always hard to listen to. Danielle McRae does the voice for Painwheel, and that's the character that Valentine the nurse kind of like sewed up and made into the monster she is. It's really twisted. I love it. The storyline is kind of fun and exciting.
I have to say, I really do like Painwheel.
Do you? That's awesome.
You know, it's not just the character. The character design for her is awesome. I have to say, the whole idea and the kind of weird thing she has on her back kind of reminds me of a pinwheel. I'm guessing that was the joke they made there. Duh. But yeah, it's her story is very tragic.
So desperately tragic. So tragic. Yeah, absolutely. And I also really love, although I can't stand playing against her as Parasoul, but because she always wins, but Peacock. I love that reference to every single old animated everything that Peacock brings to the table. Is she's such a tribute to animation and animation styles over the decades. She's kind of I love the fun aspect of that character brings.
I also heard that KG was involved with Skullgirls, but I didn't really.
Yes,
I couldn't really find out who he was.
Yeah, he's one of my egrets. My egrets. However, I don't even know how I pronounce it anymore. But yeah, he was in it. He's in it. And I was with KG live when we streamed him getting his Skullgirls tattoo that he has. I held the camera while we videotaped him getting a Skullgirls tattoo because he puts on body. He has tattoos of all the games he's worked in.
I have to say, would you be willing to do that kind of thing?
I do have tattoos already. I don't think I would tattoo my resume on my body. No, but there's some things like a Skullgirls tattoo. I could get talked into a Skullgirls tattoo, a little Parasoul or something like that. That is, they're games that I have a tremendous amount of love for, that my heart gets involved in because of something happened during the process of recording it that endeared it to me. Usually, but that's not every game. As you can, if you ever go to my website and look at my credit, it's a long list of games, and I still have like a good 16 games to release in the next 2 years that I've been working on. So I can't be in love with all of them, but the ones that I do fall in love with, it's possible I could have it permanently inked on my body.
What about for Dynasty Warriors?
You know what? I love Cai Wenji's design. I think she's stunning with the moon, and I think there is something very spiritual about her design that really catches my eye. And some of the fan art that I've seen of Cai Wenji has really blown me away. She is gorgeous, in my opinion, but I'm a little biased. So,
other than Cai Wenji, who do you think is another cool character in Dynasty Warriors?
Well, I really like, I can't remember, he's a real bad guy. I'm not going to remember his name. I think it's Dong Zhuo.
Yeah.
I'm not very good with Chinese names, even though I watch a lot of Kung Fu movies. But is that the guy who's voiced by Richard Epcar?
Yep.
I love that character. I got to watch Richard record some of that, and I was like, you are that. So then that's the bad guy. That's my arch nemesis right there. He's kind of awesome. I really like evil characters. Like, I'm always into like the Wicked Witch in a series, or I tend to find a lot of love for those characters, even though I don't play a lot of them.
It's the thing is, when you said Dong Zhuo, I was like, whoa, that's a bit weird, because a lot of people don't really like Dong Zhuo, and the reason is
he's a bad guy and he's mean and
but he's like super mean, like.
Yeah, he's really awful.
First of all, he's like a pervert.
Yeah, he's totally dark.
Yeah.
Totally. And therefore, somebody needs to give him love. And that person is me.
You're just like the only person that likes Dong Zhuo.
Yes. Yes, I am, probably. But that's because I'm, again, I have a very strange perspective. Getting to watch Richard Epcar play that character he's amazing. He's amazing at what he does.
Yeah, he is. Although there was a lot of speculation regarding Richard Epcar.
Oh.
Recently. I don't know if you know this or not, but he kind of said things that he wasn't supposed to say before even Dynasty Warriors 8 was announced overseas.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
So he I think he pretty much said, I'm the voice of Dong Zhuo in Dynasty Warriors 8, even before it was announced. So yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure I saw that post. I remember when that happened because we were working on it at that time. Yeah. And if sometimes the hard thing with our job is especially with series that are coming out, like the Persona 4 series, they were really good at letting me know when I could talk about it, that type of stuff. And if Atlas is a different company, and they're pretty good with that kind of stuff. But the people for Dynasty Warriors didn't specifically say, hey, it's not being announced. So that he didn't know, because it was posted everywhere. People knew about it. And when people know about it, it's very easy when you're as busy a voice actor as Richard is to assume or to have made the mistake. It's such an easy slip up to make when you work on as many projects as you work on as him. That's just a heartbreaker. I felt for that moment, I was like, oh, dude, it slipped past the censor. What are you going to do?
We all make mistakes. And in the end, I don't think it was really a big deal, because when I saw it, I was like, no way, it's coming overseas. I was more excited than angry. So,
right. Right. But it is, part of our NDAs is to not give away stuff like that. And it can get really hard. And it's also hard when fans know so much about it that it feels like it's been announced here. You know what I mean? Like, there are some situations where, like, so, have you heard this? It's like, oh, is it out? We don't know, because we're not given, the game companies do not actually contact us to let us know, hey, by the way, you can talk about it now. That would be amazing if they did that. Then we would know not to talk about it until we got that official email that said, now you can talk about it. But they don't. give you an official email, so a lot of time can go by and think, okay, now can I tell? There's nobody around to tell you whether you can or you can't. It's it can get tough to keep track of.
Yeah, especially with
I have it all written down, actually.
Especially with Tecmo Koei, because I do understand that you are recording within the United States for that
Los
project.
Angeles.
Yeah. So, and there isn't really someone from Tecmo Koei, like a community manager in America, that can kind of give you that information or anything like that. And I don't think they were actually given that information, because I do talk to Chin, because it's pretty much only in Japan. The big bosses in Japan, they're the ones that know. And when they feel that, yeah, we should tell our other places in Europe and in America, then they will know, because sometimes they don't even know. Like sometimes Chin,
absolutely,
for Tecmo Koei Europe, he doesn't know everything regarding the games until Japan sends him something to say, yeah, this is it.
It has to be tremendously difficult to be involved with any title that's international. You know, when something's being released over multiple continents, I don't know how all of that gets, kept track of, and how you keep NDAs in place. I mean, it's next to impossible. There's always going to be somebody who blows it somewhere, because that's too many people involved in a project for somebody not to slip up somewhere.
But I have to say, to kind of keep this kind of thing under wraps, they did do a lot of hard work for that.
Well, as all companies do, as Mattel, Atlas, Square Enix, all of those big companies that have huge titles, that I've gotten to work for, they go they go above and beyond and keep everything under wraps. But every once in a while something slips, because it depends on what continents it's on, and when is some company mistook the announced date, or all it takes is just one little mistake somewhere on a piece of paper or email for things to slip out. And they always seem to slip out, because I don't understand how fans get some of the information they get. I'm like, how did you find? And things that I can't even comment on. How did you find that out? What kind of hacking skills do you have?
Well, some people, sometimes they assume, and then, they ask certain people, and, obviously some people say, I can neither confirm nor deny, and then people's like, oh, well, he's not denying, so that means it must be true. You see what I mean? So people tend to assume things, and then they
can't just come out and say no.
Yeah. So it's like, for instance, when people are asking Keiji, "Oh, are you Sima Zhao in Dynasty Warriors 8?" Keiji kept his cool. He was like, "Can't confirm nor deny," and people just took that as, "Yeah, he's Sima Zhao in Dynasty Warriors 8."
See, I like to answer with, "I hope so." Meaning, like that kind of answer, like, because most of the time I don't know. I'll know that the title is coming out with something next, but I don't know if I'm in it, not till the day they call me a record. So I'm always just hoping that I get to be in the next part of a series, or you know what I mean? So that's not a yes or a no. That's just I hope I get to work on it if it comes here.
But the thing is, answers like that and answers like Keiji's answer, they're amazing answers and things, but the fans don't like to hear that, because it's not a definite.
Well, because we don't have a definite. How do you think it is for us, who plays a character from game after game or show after show, from anime series to a game, from a game to an anime series, and you don't know? You see, like right now, I'm in a game called Hyperdimension Neptunia, which is blown up and gotten really, really popular, and they're making an anime of that. I have no idea if they will keep me on from the game to the anime. I have no idea where they're going to record the anime, because it all depends on all of those decisions, and I won't know till the very, very last minute if they even, localize it. Who knows? And that drives me crazy, because I hate to think somebody else, takes over the role of a character that I'm still happy to play. You know what I mean? That's a heartbreaker when that stuff happens.
I see what you mean, because that's actually happened before within Dynasty Warriors, I think. When there's some characters that they've been there for ages. Some voice actors been voicing characters since Dynasty Warriors 4, and then other voice actors come in and take over their role. I don't know how they would feel about it. I'm guessing that you guys that work on Dynasty Warriors, voice acting and things like that, I'm guessing you guys are all cool with that.
It all depends, because sometimes they change. Like a game will go with one production house, one recording studio that's recording, and then they'll switch recording studios for who knows what reason, depending. Maybe somebody within their company changed. Somebody got fired, somebody got hired, and then so they changed studios, and then the new studio doesn't know the talent that was in the old game. They don't have no contact information for the people who were in the old game, so they call the people they know to revoice. it could be that those kinds of things go on all the time in Los Angeles, because it could have come where one game was, being recorded in Vancouver, and then all of a sudden they decide to record in, like, I recorded the original Kessen in Vancouver, but Kessen 2 was recorded in LA. So characters obviously get recast because they changed location that way.
Well,
those types of things can happen.
In the case of Kessen 2, I wouldn't. That's not really the same situation, because Kessen 2 was in a completely different era. It was, it was more kind of in like the same era as Dynasty Warriors, because they had similar characters. They had Cai Wenji, who they called Cai Wenji in that version.
Oh, right, and
yeah, and they had like Cao and Liu Bei. It was weird because they made two characters, Liu Bei and Cao. They made them brothers, which doesn't make any sense, but it's Kessen. And as Chin always says from Tecmo Koei, it's video games at the end of the day. It doesn't need to make sense.
Right.
And it is the truth, because even in Dynasty Warriors 7 and in Dynasty Warriors 8, we've been seeing weird things, because I wouldn't expect a character to go out into a battlefield with a harp.
Right? Except that if you play League of Legends, I also play Sona in that game, and she fights with her beautiful music. She's amazing. So it's a popular theme coming out of video games where you can fight with sound.
I know, but it's just weird.
It is weird.
It's awesome.
But look at the Dune series. If you've ever read the Dune series by Frank Herbert, technically or at least in the movie made by David Lynch, they made that weirding module sound like a sound weapon, which was kind of badass. I really enjoyed that. I'm a huge fan of that series. So it is. I could see how that worked. Yeah, but it is strange when a gentle woman, a sweet, soft-spoken female. I mean, really, Cai Wenji and Sona have a lot in common.
Well, I don't really know what to say to that. Maybe the guys that done League of Legends were inspired by Dynasty Warriors. We don't know.
That's a really good question. I wonder if they were.
Probably they were, because I think there was some sort of kind of costumes for certain characters in League of Legends. I don't know if I'm wrong or anything, because I saw this a few months ago, and they were kind of based off Zhou Yun from Dynasty Warriors and Lu Bu from Dynasty Warriors.
See, I believe that. Yeah,
so,
I see it. I
don't know.
That ethically. I think you might be onto something there. Of course, because we don't know for sure, but I think that's a really good guess.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I hope so, because that would make League of Legends a lot more bearable. In all honesty, I don't like to play PC games. I just find them extremely boring.
Well, you don't have to. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, because the only PC game I like to play is Dynasty Warriors Online, because it's a Dynasty Warriors.
There you go.
So yeah, we were talking about the fact that I don't like to play League of Legends, and I don't really like to play any sort of PC games, because it's not the same as a controller in your hand. Because the kind of gamer I am is, I was 6-year-old. I got PlayStation 2. First game was Dynasty Warriors. So from then on, I kind of grew.
I think whatever you played as a child imprints you. Like I remember, of course, I was around during the invention of video games, so I was a lucky girl. I remember playing some games on my Apple IIe computer, which was archaic now that I think about it, with its little flashing green icon box. And the games were pretty limited. I remember playing an RPG, one of the original RPGs called Ultima, and I really enjoyed it. But as soon as we got our ColecoVision, which was like an Atari, but called a ColecoVision, and the graphics and having the controller, I was hooked on game systems after that. I really enjoyed. I much preferred having the controller in my hand than using the up down button on the computer, which is what I literally did with the Apple IIe back in the day.
When you kind of voice a character in the game, when the game is released, do you go and buy the game and like, hey, look, I'm in there?
I don't generally, unless I had an amazing experience during the recording of the game, because I seriously am in a lot of games. If I bought every game that I was in, I would be broke. So they
don't give you the game for free?
No, not all companies do. Some companies they used to back in the day. There was a couple of companies that used to do that, but in the last couple of years, like the economy in America went south for a while, so that habit, that really beautiful habit that I had, stopped happening. I have bought with my own money a couple. I bought Persona 4 Arena. I bought Skull Girls, obviously. those games Catherine I bought. I really enjoyed that one. But the other games that I was gifted Eternal Sonata, Tales of the Abyss. They gave me a free copy. That was cool, you know. But really, I don't get to see the game unless I go to somebody else's house who has it. That's my dog. She's talking.
What's your dog saying?
She's saying, "Hey, look, there's another dog outside."
Are you serious? What kind of dog? This is very interesting, by the way.
I have a little Yorkshire Terrier, and she's 9 years old, but she looks like a puppy, and her tongue is always sticking out. So now she's my mascot. I had some promo photos done, and she's in one of them, and I love it. I'm gonna use it everywhere. She's in a couple, actually.
Aww.
She's a really good dog.
Aww. I really do like that kind of dogs. You know, the Yorkshire Terriers.
I'm really lucky because she's a studio dog. I really believe that the right pet for you shows up at the right time, and I can take her and bring her to some studios that are dog friendly, and she'll just sit there and watch me work. Usually if it's like a big fighting, I have to scream and people have to die game, I don't bring her in the booth with me because she thinks I'm yelling at her. But even outside the booth, when she's outside of the booth and I'm yelling like that, she doesn't take it so personally. She's just like, "Oh, Mom's yelling in the booth," that type of thing. And I find that fascinating that at the studio she sits and she watches me. But when I'm recording from home, I have a little closet that I've turned into a little booth. She doesn't want to be anywhere near me when I go into that to record. She's like, "Nope, I'm getting out of here." Like, well, how come you don't watch me do it there, but you watch me at the studio? What? I don't get it.
Maybe the studio's like fun or something.
I think it might be. It might be like, ooh, I'm with Mom at work, visiting Mom at work, as opposed to, oh, she's just going to make some noise in the closet. Very strange.
You know what's an amazing idea? If dogs play video games. Because I was talking about this a couple of days ago, actually, before the recording. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, Bish, you want a free puppy?" I was like, only if it plays video games. Only if it does. But, you know.
There are some dogs that watch television and follow everything on the screen. I bet there would be something that you could do, you know, and make it motion capture where the dog could wear like the, you know, for the Wii, the little device that it picks up, and then the dog could. It
was going so well until you said Wii.
Well, I don't know. I don't do the motion, you know, the hands-free with
the but still, PS3. You know, it's just.
I only have a Wii and a PS3. Don't you judge me.
I'm not gonna judge you because. In all honesty,
I like the little Wii Star Wars Lego game. I love that game. And I was brought up on Nintendo, you know what I mean? Like, I was around for those original Nintendo games. I have a very soft place in my heart for Nintendo that will never die, no matter how unpopular their system becomes.
It's not like Nintendo is unpopular, it's just there's the big boys in the kind of console market now. It's more Microsoft and Sony based.
So are you going to get a PS4? I mean, a PS4?
PS4? PS4 or Xbox One? I don't know.
Because E3 just happened here, and the gauntlet has been thrown that the Xbox One is for, you know, nothing, made for a hockey puck, and that the PS.
No, but the thing is, Microsoft announced a couple of days ago that what they said at E3. Yeah, no, they've kind of took that back, mainly because a lot of people are like, "Oh no, Microsoft, don't do that. I'm gonna leave and go to PlayStation." But after
everyone, it was. I mean, I know you probably didn't get it as loud because I live in Los Angeles. It was loud. It was earthquaking the reaction. But when the PS4 announcement, like PlayStation almost got a standing ovation during their presentation, and the energy behind the support for PlayStation and the absolute loathing for what Xbox One brought to the table was, you could smell it like it was a sports event. You know what I mean? It was like PlayStation had kicked Microsoft's tushy in a way at the grand finals of some super event. It was crazy. So it doesn't surprise me that Microsoft decided to dust off, you know, let's put a little salve on the wounds and come back and try for another round. So good for them. Otherwise, they would have been dead in the water.
Because they were talking about, oh, yeah, that whole DRM thing, we're not doing that anymore. And the whole...
good.
All of these things that they said at E3, they're not doing it anymore. And now... when you compare the pre-orders for the Xbox One compared to PS4, it's crazy. It's like the Xbox One has overtaken PS4 already.
No, well, that's good because they were going to lose. They literally were going to lose everybody. That was crazy. I'm like, how do you make those kind of decisions where you're going to lose your entire That's crazy.
I was hoping that they were, you know, because I'm a big fan of Xbox, and I'm not gonna lie. The Xbox One at the beginning did kind of disappoint me, but at the same time, growing up with PlayStation and growing up with games like Dynasty Warriors, which tends to be a PlayStation exclusive in Japan, and it doesn't always make its way over to both Xbox and PlayStation in the West. So I can't risk that, you know, because I know that they're going to stick with Sony.
I have a PlayStation, so I'm with you. I've been with PlayStation since the beginning. I haven't been able to... I mean, I know Xbox is the more popular console for hardcore gamers, but I'm not a hardcore gamer. I just voice hardcore games. I don't even know if I voice hardcore games. I voice a lot of RPGs, so... And I'm an RPG girl. I love RPGs. My favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII, and I love that I could play from my original PlayStation Final Fantasy VII to my PlayStation 3. I love that I can keep playing it over and over.
In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of Final Fantasy, mainly because it's just... It's
Don't you? I love it.
I have to admit, I like Final Fantasy 3. You know, I played that game in Japanese. It was crazy. I like that game, but and then it got to Final Fantasy 13. I was just like, oh, really?
I'm in that one.
I saw. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, this game is alright. However, I went on discs too, because, you know, on Xbox it's split into 3 discs, because the game is that big.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, I'm on disc 2 and I'm fighting this boss, and I'm like, I was so excited beforehand, and then, you know, I can't beat the boss, and this is the only game that I've kind of rage quit on, and I just left the game for like 2 years, haven't played it for like 2 years, and then I come back to it yesterday, and I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna play this game again. I put it away. I'm not gonna sell the game, but...
Sometimes that happens. No, I've experienced that. I totally understand that. That happened.
You know,
I haven't been able to play. I couldn't play. I went to E3 a few years ago when Final Fantasy 12 and 11 came out, and the hello. Okay. And the graphics, when I saw the graphics and just how realistic they were, it freaked me out. I was so used to playing Final Fantasy VII, where I felt very removed from the gameplay, you know, because it was like obviously a game. Where this was so realistic, it freaked me out. I'm like, I can't play it because the fighting will feel too real.
So you're talking about realistic games and things like that, like the Final Fantasy games.
They scare the crap out of me. Games scare the crap out of me now.
That's the thing. PS4 and Xbox One are going to be like that. They're going to be very realistic. So what do you think about that?
It creeps me out. I can't help it. That's just me. That's because I'm so old school and I was brought up on, like, you know, Legend of Zelda and Mario Brothers. So I like the cartoony aspect. I am a cartoony person at heart. I do voices for actual animated series. I am a cartoony person. This is not a judgment on games at all. It freaks me out. I think if you're gonna go that realistic, why not just do live action? I don't get it.
As a game?
But, they'll probably get to the point where they can do that somehow. Don't know how that will be. But
a lot of games, like, instead of them graphics style, like coding and stuff, well, obviously all games have coding, but, you know, some games, like, have a lot of motion capture.
Oh, yeah, a tremendous amount. I mean, even, for The Last of Us, like, getting to see pieces of it, because I haven't played I don't think I could play that game. I think it would, knowing what I did behind the mic, I would be scared even listening to myself, because I was screaming like I was dying. It was creepy as hell. And to see how realistic, like, Troy Baker's performance in that is, I wish they gave Oscars for that kind of stuff, because I think he would get the Oscar. His performance is unbelievable, and that animation is flawless. It's gorgeous. It feels like an actual film. It's intense. So you guys who are playing games like that, that's a whole other level of gameplay. That is an intensity, and you're in it. It's so intense. That scares the crap out of me for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe if they came out with a comedy game that was that realistic, I could get into it. Something silly.
I see what you mean, yeah. Because, like I said, they're being more realistic, and now, like, games are going to be in 3D. That's even worse. Because, you know, Dynasty Warriors is in 3D. A lot of the games on PlayStation now are in 3D, which is crazy. Especially when you play Dynasty Warriors in 3D and you do a Muso, and it's just freaking awesome. It's just the best feeling. And I think Dynasty Warriors was one of the first 3D games, but don't Don't take my word for that.
That's amazing. I think that's amazing. I think you have to be a very adventurous soul to want to go through the emotions that you go through at the level of reality that these games are becoming. Like, that's amazing to me.
And especially with The Last of Us, that was, I haven't played the game, but I just saw gameplay. I've actually sat down and watched the whole gameplay, the whole game in videos, because
right?
It felt like a film.
It does. The performances are film caliber. They're amazing. I didn't play anything big. I was just, extra voices for the infected. They cut me. I'm just part of the soundscape of that game. I'm not really in that game the same. Like, I'm not a character. I'm just many of the infected chicks. If somebody's on fire in that game and burning and they're infected, it's probably me screaming. But the performances of the actors from that game are I think they would easily be comparable to any A-list movie star anywhere. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
The game got amazing reviews, on Metacritic it got 95 out of 100, on Edge it got 10 out of 10, Eurogamer gave it 10 out of 10, Game Informer gave it 9.5, and then there was Polygon, which gave it 7.5. I don't know what to say to that, because Polygon, quite reputable. I don't really want to say anything bad about it.
What more do you expect out of a game? Like, that's all I ask for a game like that, that's bringing so much to the table, where stuff it just like, whoa, everything. They're bringing everything. How do you even judge something that's so different from anything that's been brought to the table before? Like, I think that they took it to a whole other place with that game. Like, it's almost its own genre, because it's not quite the same as the Resident Evils and stuff, because the way they approached it is so filmatic. And I did enjoy playing Resident Evil, except I wouldn't hold the controller because I couldn't deal with the zombies, because that scared the crap out of me. So I would have somebody play the controller while I solved all the puzzles. And I screamed a lot. And I wasn't even holding, because then the vibrating of the controller freaks me out. I can't do it.
You can turn that off. You do know that.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
You just go pause and then go to settings.
Yeah, but then somebody else can play it, and then I can watch them play, and then I get to solve all the things. Like, that was the same with Catherine. I got really good at Catherine, except for the big monster with the giant tongue chasing, and the vibrating controller. No! I had to drop it.
You just throw it at the screen.
Yes! It scares me.
I've never heard someone say that before, but there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, I like the girlier games. I'm definitely a girlier gamer. Like, we've got Journey right now, and I'm playing Journey. That's a beautiful, stunning game, totally right up my alley.
See, I don't understand. What do you mean by girlier games? Because I don't really think of games like that.
No, you're right. It's more I'm a girlier girl, and I like games with less action and adventure. But I'm not a girly girl in my daily life. But when it comes to games, I'm a girly girl. I choose my games as if I were a girly girl, which is fascinating, because I'm kind of a tomboy in my daily life.
Okay.
So it's like, it brings out that other side of me where I'm like, frightening thing, and I like anything that's cute, and I like playing Kirby. That is so cute.
No, Kirby's an amazing game.
I like anything that's cute and puzzle oriented. I like RPGs. I like story that can go on for a while and not a lot of fighting. I'm not a big fan of the fighting. Although, that's why I suck at playing Skull Girls, because I'm like, I can't. And if anybody's ever seen me play a video game, it brings out this dark, I turn into a monster trying to fight, and I don't like who I become playing those games, so I try to stick to the happier side of myself.
Because, there's a lot of people, they tend to say, yeah, I'm a girl gamer, or something like that, and I
know some badass girls who are gamers that are not girly girls. Like, I could put them up against any man, anywhere, and I know they would dominate.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, when people say, yeah, I'm a girl gamer, even if they don't mean it in the sense that, yeah, they're a girly girl or whatever, I don't like the phrase, mainly because we're all gamers in the end. I don't see why we have to be kind of segregated.
I said girly. I'm a girly.
I see what you mean, but there's people that will take that in the wrong way, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm a girl gamer, or whatever. Like, I don't see why people should be segregated in that way.
Well, I'm sure there are
and there's people that do that.
Girly gamers too. I bet there are some guys out there that are girly gamers that would prefer the girlier choices. But what other adjective would we use if it wasn't girly? Because I'm not a girly girl, but I don't mind using that adjective to describe myself, in this particular scenario. Where else am I girly? I'm girly when it comes to my shoe choices too.
Well, that's interesting and something that we all needed to know about.
Now you know.
I don't know what other adjective we can use for that, because
but you're right.
It's something.
It's like there should be a better adjective for that.
There should be something.
We've definitely moved beyond that in gaming, because women are obviously kicking ass, playing games, and female gamers are amazing at what they do, and even the characters in games for women are improving, because there's been such a fantastic female gamer base.
Yeah.
But I don't know how else to
especially like characters like Lara Croft.
Yeah.
So badass.
Well, every character in Skull Girls is badass. They are fierce. None of them are girly. I would never call any of those characters girly.
Oh, well, maybe Pain will. We don't know.
She's girly.
Secretly. She's just
Secretly? She's a secret.
Have you seen... I've actually read like her on the wiki, and I've read like her interests and things. And when you look at the character and you see her interests and you see the things that she dislikes things like torture and things. And I'm looking at the character and I'm like, are you sure this isn't the wrong way around? Like, I actually got confused, because obviously I didn't play Skull Girls before when I saw Painwheel, so I thought Painwheel was some crazy messed up character, but she is. Well, she isn't. She just she just looks like, obviously considering what happened to her, she looks messed up, but.
Well, and the thing she says is, get out of my head. I feel for her. Lines are disturbing.
They are, and the thing is, she is disturbing, but I really do feel sorry for her.
I think a lot of people. I think she's a lot of people's favorites. Because she's such an interesting character, and her, like you said, her story is so tragic. Yeah, so interesting.
She likes flowers, gardening, walking on the beach, family. All of these things she likes, and then her dislikes are like, she doesn't like mind control. She doesn't like pain. She doesn't like frustration. She doesn't like loud noises. That's how it is. It's, when you look at the character, and I really do feel sorry for her, because what happened to her wasn't nice at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. Stupid Valentine.
Stupid Laurel Post.
Yeah. I just wanted to know, like, I want to know, like, her story beforehand, what she was like way before. You see what I mean?
That would be fun. That would be amazing. I mean, just the stories for all of them. There's so much they could do. I'm sure they have it. I'm sure that the guys have created all of that somewhere.
Yeah, obviously, when they're thinking about creating a game, they have to think about these things.
Yeah,
I'll be surprised if they didn't, but I really want to pick their brains. I really want to go inside their minds and kind of see their ideas.
They're very accessible. And questions. You just have to, they stream every Thursday night at a tournament on Salty Cupcakes on the Twitch stream. If you follow them on Twitter, and you can type in your questions. They answer questions all the time, almost every week. They're very accessible.
I will see what I can do regarding that. I'm not really going to say on air.
Right. Well, and it's because you just don't know. Like, it depends on how many people show up and if they, see what you post and stuff. But in terms of them being there, and that's how a lot of stuff happens in the game, is that they listen to the gaming community and the questions, and that's how this entire, it's really manifested. They did a great job. They're such an amazing team of people. I'm very proud and grateful that I got to work with them.
I have to admit, it is an amazing game, and I'm not really into this kind of 2D fighting games.
And that says a lot from you, because there's a lot of games you don't like, so that says a lot that you've given this little strange fighting game, a thumbs up. That's pretty cool.
You just made me seem like this kind of person that doesn't like any game.
No, you're very specific in what you enjoy. There's nothing wrong with being specific in what you enjoy. I am specific in what I enjoy. There's lots of things that I wouldn't put my time into either. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can't like everything.
I see what you mean. But at the same time, I give games some sort of chance. But there's some games I won't give a chance at all.
But see, that's how you like what you like, is that you're like, okay, I went for it, but it bored the hell out of me, so I know this is not my flavor. It's all about flavor, just like with food.
That's an amazing analogy.
If something's my flavor, and that's why when I say I like or dislike something, I don't mean it like I love or I hate it. I mean, like, you know what, it's just not my flavor. There are flavors I prefer, and this is not one of them.
Okay, so this kind of moves on to another question.
Okay.
Oh, now I forgot it. Okay, this is very weird. This kind of happened last time when I was recording with KG. I think it even happened to KG himself. It's kind of brain farts, as KG would say.
He totally would.
Yeah, this brings me to the question: what kind of game would you not like touch? And I mean, in specifically, like what game in particular would you not?
What's really not my flavor? You know what? I really am not a fan of first-person shooters.
But you.
That is not my flavor at all.
Okay.
Because I'm not good at it.
It's interesting considering that you were in first-person shooter.
Yes, but it's hard for me because again, the experience is so personal, and again the experience is so like first person is such a good description for it. Like you are in it, and you are, and it's just you've got to kill people, and that just to me I can't do. It's just not my flavor.
I see.
I'm not bold enough or brave enough to play those types of games.
I see what you mean. Especially with first-person shooters. Like for me, they're quite cool, but at the same time, I see what you mean. Like you have to kill people, and especially with
like you're so in it. Like it's your eyeball's point of view. That's a like it's almost like your head is the screen. That's intense. Like it's a level of intensity that I don't find fun. I don't find that fun in a game, but I know it's amazing when I watch other people and I'm like, I don't know how you do it because that's just so intense because it's like you're actually there and you're actually doing it.
So has there been any of the games that you've kind of been a part of? Are there any games that you kind of regret being a part of?
Voicing? No. Everything I voice, I enjoy. I don't mind voicing a first-person shooter game. That's easier. It's not the same. You know, like, it's so ridiculous that I'm saying that. Because, I mean, of course, I become that character for that moment. But I'm not making, because it's already written out. The script is already written out. It's not me making a moral decision from myself. I am that character making the decision that has been written for me. So I can surrender to that character choices in that character and become that character in a different way than, you know, being Erin playing a first-person shooter and having to make decisions as myself. It's much easier for me to become another person and make some crazy. That's why I can love a character like Dong Zhao, as dark as he is. I can really enjoy that character because I really can enjoy how it must felt to get to play a character like that. I love my craft a lot. I love acting a lot, and I love the different perspectives and points of view. So there isn't any so far. There hasn't been any characters that I felt like I wanted to walk away from.
Okay.
Any so far, but it not to say that it might not happen. Anything is possible. Like if I were cast in something and I didn't know what it was. I mean, I've turned down auditions for animated series because I could play those characters they wanted me to read. It was just it really not my flavor at all. Didn't resonate with me at all. Those would have been jobs that I would have regretted doing. But not because, you know, my perspective is better than anyone else's. It's not about that. It's just about that really isn't my flavor or where I put my energy, and I don't want to even do that in my job. I've been really blessed with the projects. Like, everything that has come my way, I'm cool. Like my dad is a naval commander in the Canadian Navy. So I have a great respect for military people and military folks, which is why I'm really impressed with people that can play first-person shooters, but I can't play that. And I don't know if that's because I'm a Navy brat. I don't know if that's a part of it. Like, that just never interested in me. That wasn't English. That's my day off, and apparently I have stopped the ability of talking.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. I do it all the time.
Oh, good.
You know, sometimes I'm just talking in a Bish, are you speaking in another language? It's okay.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. So far so good. I mean, I've come close. There's been some like that whole Saints Row series. I have said some crazy stuff as characters in those 3 games. They were crazy. Those were nutty situations.
Can you give us an example?
Well, I don't remember all of them now. Like, I think in 1 and 2. Like gang members, and I remember playing a store owner, and the direction was that she was really, really hippie and really stoned, you know, like really out there stuff, like stuff that I wouldn't normally play. So it was really wacky and fun, and they were kind of comedic. Everything that I did was kind of comedic, but it was still, you know, woo. adult themed. There was a lot of cussing. I don't cuss in games often, but when there was cussing, I'm like, woo! Woohoo!
So speaking of cussing, are you like, because KG said, in the booth he's known for cussing and things like that. Are you like that, or?
There were a number of years where I didn't cuss at all, not at all. And then in the last year, I used to cuss a lot coming from Canada. I would cuss like a trucker. My mom cussed like a trucker. It wasn't in Canada people cuss and they don't. It's not like in America or in England. It's not that big a deal. The words they're not so. It's just part of language there. More of an expression thing.
Just in the dictionaries.
But yeah. And then when you come to the States, you feel the vibration of those words. Like it's reflected immediately as soon as you say them in the person who's listening, because you can see. So I really curbed my cussing for years, living in the States, and it's certainly not in my jobs. But I'm on one job right now. That the character, it's dubbing a live action series. It's a foreign series. No, I don't know where it'll air, but I can't really talk into the detail. But my character literally talks in monologues. She just doesn't shut up. She just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. And the engineer, the director, everybody's exhausted of how much she talks. And so I've gotten with her, like I can get through like maybe 3/4 of the monologue and I'll blow it, and then I will cuss. She is the character that makes me cuss. And playing video games, I definitely cuss. So, but most part on my job, I'm very good at not cussing, because a lot of it is, little kids stuff like Monster High and Ever After High, and I don't want to bring that energy into those kind of recording sessions, because I do feel that your voice carries an energy and your attention carries an energy, and I don't want, for little kids, I have to clean that up when I'm in those booths. But if I'm in a hardcore game, then I'm not adverse to cussing in the booth if I make a mistake in that situation. So it depends on the energy that I intend for the project.
Okay. Well, regarding voice acting again, we're going to go back to Skull Girls, and I know I wanted to talk about Dynasty Warriors a bit more, but Skull Girls is just very interesting, and I just reminded something that I was reminded of something that KG told me about this voice pack DLCs.
Yes, and I'm going to be cussing a lot in that. Woohoo! Because mine is my voice pack DLC is the Salty Parasoul. Everybody wants to see Salty Parasoul because there was a KG video recorded me playing against Sarah Williams, playing Peacock. We were playing Skull Girls, and I was cussing like a trucker. So the thing came out of that salty, look at how salty Parasoul is. So for the DLC, everyone wanted to see a whole Salty Parasoul voice pack. And a lot of the stuff that we're gathering for lines came from that video that was made, because it was crazy. That was some crazy stuff. It was like a litany. And so that will be recorded for the enjoyment of fans everywhere at some point.
And it kind of brings me on to Dynasty Warriors, which is awesome. See what I did there? Anyway.
Good transition.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. But anyway. Yeah, do you think, if Tecmo Koei were like, yeah, we're going to do some sort of voice pack, would you think you'd be interested in that kind of thing?
Oh, of course. The really interesting thing about Cai Wenji is that she's so soft and gentle. She really, I have to access a completely, I'm a loudmouth and a chatty Cathy, and she's so gentle and melodic. I really like stepping into her. I really enjoy the process of how does she react to something, which it's totally the opposite of how I react in my daily life. And I really like the idea of there's some qualities that she has that I would love to have, strengthen in myself. So yeah, anytime I get to play her, I jump at the opportunity to play her.
Because Tecmo Koei, they're a very serious company when it comes to their games and things like that. They're not really ones to make jokes. But they do it in form of DLC sometimes, because we've seen some sort of Costume DLCs, which are ridiculous. You know, there's some characters that fight instead of like rods, they fight with kebabs.
Oh, I love that kind of stuff.
And lollipops instead of axes and crazy stuff. Like one character was fighting with flags, and another, I was talking to KJ about this actually, another character's fighting with meat buns.
Oh my god.
It was actually Dong Zhuo.
Oh, my boyfriend would love that.
Yeah.
He loves Chinese, meat buns.
Yeah, I think we moved to meat buns, and I think this is awesome now, because I think KG, he's very excited to listen to this episode, and now we're talking about meat buns.
We brought it to food.
Yeah, his
meat. Chie always works her way in. I can't help it.
Whose voice was that?
That was Chie Satanaka from the Persona 4 series.
Ah.
Yeah, she's very popular for her love. She also loves to eat steak and meat a lot.
Can you do that again?
She's a pretty...
You gotta eat more meat!
Wow.
She's very kung fu. I love her. She's one of my favorites. She would be a tattoo if I got it. In fact, my Chie jacket just arrived. I ordered an Adidas Firebird Originals jacket. It's green with the yellow striping. It's not like exactly the same as Chie's, but I wanted to get the Chie version of that Adidas jacket, and I just did. So I gotta find out if it fits after this interview. Woohoo!
Awesome. You gotta keep us updated with that.
I will.
I have to admit that, you know, gotta eat more meat. That's something I would say.
See?
Just saying.
There you go.
You know. Anyway, moving from food, going back into Dynasty Warriors.
Yes.
Yeah. So when recording Dynasty Warriors, how is it different from all these other recording jobs that you did?
Well, it's different because the writer isn't in the room. The actual a lot of these games, the person who wrote the translation will be in the room, or a producer will be in the room. I mean, they do have somebody in the room to help with translation and make sure that it matches. And sometimes they do have a rep. If I think back to Dynasty Warriors 6, but when we did 8, it seemed really pared back. It was a quick session. I missed in 6. It was such we took our time, and we had a lot more. There was so much more to the game. It didn't seem like there was as much dialogue in 8, at least not Cai Wenji. So I didn't really get the story of the game very much this round. But I know that, I mean, come on, the story is so complicated and there's so much going on. It's not that, I mean, they'd have to pay me, twice as much money if they took the time to explain everything, because I'd be there having to listen for so long. So that's interesting. But I remember when we were coming up with the voice for Cai Wenji, I remember there being a lot of people in the room, and we played around with all sorts of different areas, and I really love working with the voice director on this project. He's so much fun, and he's got a light heart, and he really knows the game. He knows everything really well, so I can trust him implicitly when he tells me, the mood of a line or exactly what's going on in the situation. He just has to tweak gently, and I can give him exactly what he needs, and that's the sign up for a project. Like, if you like the voice acting in the Dynasty Warriors series, then that all that goes to the director, because he's so very good at his job.
So what's his name? So we can give him some sort of recognition.
His name, I'm gonna blank on his name now that you asked me directly on my day off. I'm gonna blank on his name.
Oh.
Give me a second. I can remember. Or maybe I can't. Let's talk about something else, and as soon as it comes to me, I'll...
Okay, we'll do. Well, we're still sticking with Dynasty Warriors. If you can voice any other character, who would you voice within Dynasty Warriors?
Ooh, there's some really cute, sexy girls, but I don't know enough about their characters. I would hate to pick somebody and not know who their character is. I don't know. Tell me more about Genji.
Genji, she's pretty much one of the sexiest characters in Dynasty Warriors. I'm not gonna lie about that. Very popular character. She's, for me, sometimes I feel she's a bitchy kind of character.
Ooh, okay, then I would like her.
But she's not too bitchy. She's kind of bitchy to everyone else, but towards her family and towards her kingdom, she's very loyal and things like that. So.
Well, that would be fun then.
Another question: if you could see, if you can have Keiji voice any female character, who would it be?
The game or
in the
any
game?
game?
In the game.
Okay. Ooh.
As a joke, because I would love to see some sort of voice pack.
Well, what would he do with Wenji? Because she's so quiet. Like, what would he even do? Like, I don't even know if that would be hilarious to see him playing a harp with his voice. I think that would be insane.
If they did that, some sort of voice pack DLC where they kind of mix everyone's voices up together.
I think that would be brilliant.
Like they have you voicing Sima Zhao and Keiji voicing like other. I think Keiji would be hilarious voicing one of the younger, cuter characters like Xiao Qiao.
Oh, that would be funny too.
Because I know Keiji normally goes with male voices, especially older males. So imagine that. That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. I would like to hear him as a young girl. You know what? I think you could pick any female character and it would be hilarious. Just having Keiji play. I'd like to see him as the tough chick, as the soft-spoken, the young perky girl. That would be terribly fun.
Tecmo should do that. Now, Tecmo, if you're listening, you should. I think it would be hilarious. I don't think they will, though, but they should do that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is, as you know, the voice actor for Sumayi in Japan died a couple of months back, so and it's very sad to hear about that. And on the podcast, every time we get someone Dynasty Warriors related, as this kind of homage to him, we're gonna get anyone to kind of do his iconic laugh. So I'll let you do that.
Okay.
I have to admit that was amazing. I think he would be proud if he heard that. And I'm gonna tell you something, but I don't want anyone else to know. No, nobody else listen. Everyone, if you're listening, just put plugs in your ears so you don't listen to this bit. I think that's even better than Kyle's one. I think he's gonna hate me now, but as much as I loved his voice, that's the closest I've heard to the Japanese Sumayi laugh. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know, because obviously there's going to be someone that has to replace the Japanese voice actor for Sumayi. I was hoping that they kind of keep his sounds, keep at least a laugh in, so his memory can live on, even if they change the person that does the voice lines.
Right.
Of course, that is Keiji's idea.
I think that's a great idea.
So yeah, if they
that
did
would be
that.
Amazing.
And speaking about that, do you record those kind of Muso lines and things like enemy officer defeated again, or are they like reused?
I don't know. I record so many lines, it's too hard for me to remember if I've recorded them before. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't know if they reuse them or not.
Because it's very evident that in the Japanese version of the game, they reuse lines a lot. You see what I mean?
Well, that explains a lot.
So I don't know. Maybe they do the same with Dynasty Warriors 8 because it's running the same engine. It's pretty much the same game. It's just very different in terms of gameplay, like bigger maps, new characters, things like that. But if you strip it down, it's pretty much the same game.
Yeah.
So yeah, who is your favorite character? Oh no, we did talk about it. You said Dong Zhuo, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, no, that's very shameful. I'm really disappointed in that. But I don't know why. It's just I've never heard some. My mind is just blown.
I am the only person in the world.
Maybe no, I don't think so, but there has to be other people in the world, of course. Maybe Richard Epcar. I have to ask him.
You will.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Hang on. It's Jurgen. I can't remember. Jurgen. I feel like the director. The director's name. I can't remember. I think it starts with a P. His last name. I'm not going to remember his last name. I'm sorry, guys. Jurgen. On paper, it's like a Jurgen, but I'm pretty sure we call him Jurgen. But I don't remember it's like his fabulous German name, Peretz something. But he's an amazing guy, and of course, we don't record that often. Like I see him once every few years, so he's hilarious. He's probably done a ton of other stuff too, and I just don't know.
Wow.
He's good. Jurgen.
That's actually a cool name.
It is. He's a really cool guy. I can't believe I forgot it. I'm so happy I remembered. That would have been awful if I didn't remember before we finished. Yeah. Okay, I feel better. Good. Okay, good.
Imagine if you got his name wrong.
Oh, I might have too. No, I didn't. I know it's Jurgen.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
What if you find out his name is just like Mark or something?
No, I would be shocked. No. Isn't that terrible? But you know what? I'm always bad with names. And not just fancy names like Jurgen. I'm bad with names like John. I have a terrible time remember people's names. There's one woman that I see every month, and I have seen her every month for the past 3 years, and I call her Gloria, but her name is Irene. And I never remember to call her Irene. But she answers to Gloria because I have been miscalling her that for 3 years now. So she's like, nah, it's your name for me.
Aww.
I appreciate that. Isn't that nice?
That is very nice.
Yeah. I don't know if that's because I'm always changing my name because I have, different characters. I play so many different characters. I don't know why. I can't remember. But I'll never forget somebody's face. I'll never forget somebody's face. Until I write your name down with my hand, I won't remember it. Once I write it down, I can usually remember.
So when you were recording with the Dynasty Warriors 8 cast, was it the same kind of thing? Or
I don't record with everybody. I'm by myself in the booth. Yeah, like I'll come in at the end of somebody else's session or.
So you don't hang out with them?
No, I don't get to. No, I getting to see Rich. That was just in passing.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You don't have like Dynasty Warriors 8 parties?
No, not at all. In fact, I probably don't even know the entire cast. I probably don't know everybody who's on this game. Oh. If I haven't had a conversation with somebody or see the post on social media, I don't know.
So I'm guessing you know Keiji because of Skull Girls more than Dynasty Warriors.
No, Keiji and I've known Keiji before any video game, so Keiji's a good friend. So yeah, we talked about Dynasty Warriors before even getting to work on Skull Girls.
Oh.
Yeah, before Skull Girls was even around.
Okay. So is there any other voice actors that you have this kind of close relationship with?
Yeah, there are lots. I'm very lucky. There's a lot of people in this industry that I love. It's an easy easy group of people to adore. Like, one of my closest friends is Cindy Robinson. She's an amazing voice actor. My brother from another mother is Yuri Lowenthal. He and I go way back. David Sokolov, all of these guys. Like, I know all of them. Yeah.
Yuri's an amazing voice actor, I just have to say.
He is.
Especially with what he did with Dynasty Warriors, like playing Sun Ce and Zhang He and Hayate in DOA 5. He's a very skilled actor. And, a lot of these people that do the voices, very skilled, of course. But
yeah.
Especially with Dynasty Warriors, some people have given it the reputation that the voice acting is very cheesy.
Really?
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, I prefer Japanese voices. The English voices is just cheesy as hell."
Well, then I think that's on the person who feels that way, because I don't think that the voices are cheesy. I think that Jurgen as a director is fantastic, and he doesn't get cheesy performances. He wants something real, and his style is very acting, not cheesy acting. And the talent that they have, that I do know of that are in the game, they're not cheesy actors. So unless it's something in the lines, in the translation that's cheesy, that's possible. That might be on the writing for that. But yeah, I disagree with that kind of thing. Most parts. I think that people just like to say that because they're used to saying that from a long time ago. Anime would come over, anything would come over from Japan, and they would get anybody to voice. And when people who don't know how to act voice something, they sound very cheesy. Or it's a specific direction that they wanted in the game that they want, or anime that they want cheesy. That can be a choice too in some cases. But in the most part, with the quality of talent that's around today and the caliber of the actors, I will always disagree with that statement. I just, somebody in my opinion who doesn't understand, who isn't even listening, not really listening, where they decided that they like. Their flavor is more Japanese than English, and so anything that is to them just sounds cheesy just because it's not Japanese, because it's just not their flavor.
Well, in all honesty, in the earlier Dynasty Warriors games, it was very cheesy.
Well, then,
but they did improve it, I have to say, with Dynasty Warriors 7 and Dynasty Warriors 8. They did improve voice acting a lot, and I'm not gonna lie. It can have
a lot to do with, maybe in the earlier versions they were using a lot of green actors. Maybe they didn't have a lot of, experienced actors in them.
No, because it was just
more green. People who don't know how to act are, voice act, are green usually, and you can tell, because you can tell the difference between Yuri Lowenthal and anybody who's starting out. You can put them in a room and they could even do the same voice, but the acting would be completely different. Completely different.
So this leads on to another thing. How is it? Like, what do you need to be a voice actor?
You need to know how to act. I can't stress that enough. There's a lot of new talent showing up, and a lot of people who sound green, just like we were talking about. They sound like they're doing voices, but they aren't very good at the acting part of it. So that requires studying acting, whether it's theater acting, preferably theater acting, because television and film acting is a lot more subtle, and it's not as good for voiceover. What you need is more theatrical background for voiceover. But if you sing, if you're a singer and studied and trained in singing performance, that would have you learn how to act throughout that process, because you have to deliver a song with emotion and all of that in the same way that an actor does, all of that. So it's a big deal to learn how to act. I feel like the only thing that is keeping some of these younger budding voice actresses and actors to getting better roles and bigger parts is that their acting is very shallow. I'm going to use the word shallow.
And what do you have to say to those starting up and people that think, I could do this?
Yeah, you probably can. You just have to put in thousands of hours and wait for a lot of jobs to get back to you, and a few of them saying yes.
So what about those ones that say no? Like, have you ever experienced
I get
companies
no's all the
saying-
time. Every single role that somebody else is doing that I auditioned for, that was a no. That happens all the time. I can put out a lot of auditions in a week and, get maybe 3 of them. And that's high booking ratio. Oh, there's a helicopter. So if you're not, it's one of those things. It's just like regular life and getting a job. You're competing with other people. It requires a lot of time, focus, energy, and you have to be willing to go without, because there's going to be periods when you don't work. No matter how much I work, and things can get really, really good, and I can be doing maybe 9 jobs in 1 week at some times, but there will always be times where I'm not working for a few weeks to a month to several months. That just happens. It's the ebb and flow of the business. So if you're not prepared for that, it can be devastating.
So what do you do within that kind of month or whatever that you're not working?
Oh, I hate those times. I hate that period of time. I do whatever I can. I focus on other things. I have other projects. I usually work with somebody else on something that they're working on, because I find that helping someone in something that they're doing makes me feel better than focusing on myself. Focusing on myself during a period where nothing's coming in is just not a healthy thing for me. So I'll just be of service wherever I can to others. That's usually how I get through those horrible empty periods.
So out of all of the games that you've done, which one do you think you had the most fun with?
I really love Chie Satonaka from the Persona 4 series. I was the second actress to take over that role, which was a hard thing to do, coming in after an established actor had established her already, and they went in a completely different direction when I came in for the role. So my sound for her is so different from the original, but recording her, I fell in love with her, and it was I love the studio that I worked at, and I love working with Atlas. It's just so much fun. It was so much fun. It was so lighthearted and wonderful, and I feel like I was able to really go do a huge arc acting wise. Like, that character just had so much meat to her. It was one of my favorites. She also wasn't depressing, and she didn't have a sad story arc that, I was Polka in Eternal Sonata, huge part in that game, but that character was so depressing, and it was so sad that, recording that and crying every day, that can get to you. I really like Chie because I laughed my butt off every day.
Another question, who do you think will win in a fight, Parasoul or Cai Wenji?
Well, if I'm playing Parasoul, then Cai Wenji will win, because I am terrible at playing Parasoul. But if KG playing Parasoul would win.
I mean, like, if they were in this kind of real life situation, and they just decided, yeah, let's just fight for the fun of it.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see all of Parasoul's tricks against the sound. I don't know.
The way you said the sound, it kind of sounds like one of them old kind of films. You know what I'm talking about?
Like an 40s film?
Yeah.
I understand. Commissioner Gordon, we've got to get out of here.
I don't remember where that's from.
I think Commissioner Gordon is probably from Spider-Man, but the voice is from, 1940s anything.
I don't think it's from Spider-Man.
Who's the commissioner in Spider-Man?
I think Commissioner Gordon's from... No, I think that's from Batman.
Oh, maybe.
Gordon. Yeah, I've heard of that before. Gordon. Guy with the glasses.
Yes.
Because in all honesty, I don't really know much about DC Comics.
Well, until they hire me, I'm not going to pretend to remember anything.
Until who hires you?
DC or Marvel, as a regular character. Because my dream would be to play Wonder Woman. I would love to be Wonder Woman in the DC Comics series.
Why is that?
Because I have been a fan of Wonder Woman since I was a little girl. I just love Wonder Woman. Love her backstory. I love what she can do. I want an invisible plane.
She has an invisible plane?
Yes, she does.
No, but people can see you flying.
Yes. How awesome would that be?
It'll be weird.
It would be weird.
It'll be like super weird. Imagine.
But that's why she's a superhero.
Some people might think that's a bad pun.
It probably is.
Painwell doesn't like bad puns.
No, she doesn't. But Ms. Fortune loves them. Yeah, that kitty cat character, she's always dishing out the bad puns. She's very punny.
Oh, stop. I'm not sure if you guys listening actually like these bad puns. Maybe you do. Tweet to us at Get a Life Podcast if you do. If you don't, still tweet to us. We always read your tweets because we have nothing better to do. In all honesty, this is what I do. I just record podcasts. I love what I do.
That's fantastic. It's important to love what you do. If you love what you do, then that's all you need to do.
But sometimes it does get a bit boring. Do you feel like that sometimes with voice acting?
No, because every day is a life and death situation.
In what sense?
Well, in most games, it's literally life and death. For games, everything is a life and death situation, so I'm imagining because I use my imagination a lot, so you have to when you don't get the entire storyline. So I'm going to that life and death place every day. So yeah, I don't feel bored at all. In fact, I prefer my life to be outside of my recording. I prefer things to be calm and very undramatic because my day job is to be very save the universe, very dramatic, lots of drama, lots of stuff going on.
Do you ever go outside and people just recognize you from your voice? Or...
Nobody knows me from... And I say this all the time. I am personally not famous. My characters that I voice are famous. But I myself am not famous. Nobody knows who I am. Which is kind of cool. That's why I could go to the beach earlier today and just hang out and have kids all around. But they have no idea I voice some of the characters that they love.
Yeah, but the thing is, kids nowadays, I don't think... they grew up with Ed, Edd and Eddy and things like that. Because TV shows suck now, cartoons suck.
Some of them do. I really like that Motor City. I loved Motor City. That was a great car. I wasn't in it, but I watched it. I'm a huge fan of the animation house Mouse. They do great work. I really like what's coming out of there. They do some really cool things. And I like the shows that I'm on. I really like Monster High and Ever After High. I think they're clever and well done little shows. I think I have a lot of fans coming from them, so I'm raising the next generation on Mattel.
Well, that's nice. I really do like that you're kind of with all of these generations and you're kind of the cornerstone of these childhoods, which is quite awesome, Yeah,
it really is kind of neat. It's really neat, It's fun when and you tell them what you do and they don't believe you, and then you do the voice and they still don't believe you. That's my favorite. I'm like, wow, there's just no convincing you. Because, of course, I don't look anything like the character. It's not possible that I would be the voice. I just love that.
I'm just imagining it now. Just like kids very disappointed.
Yes.
They just think you're lying.
Yes, and you know what? I don't blame them. I would have been terribly disappointed to meet the voice actors behind my favorite cartoon characters as a kid. And it shocks me that people actually give a crap and that I'm doing this interview with you. That is amazing to me that anyone would even want to listen to what I have to say, because again, it's the characters that are famous. I just happen to voice the characters. I'm grateful for my job. I think I'm very, very good at my job. I think I was born to do this job, but it's not important to me that I get recognized for it, although I am incredibly grateful that that people do seek me out to let me know how my work is, because I think it affects when I go in to record. If I'm tired from like a really busy week, say I'm doing 9 jobs in a week, when that happens, I can get exhausted, just really tired, but I don't want to not give my best on any job, because I know that somewhere there's someone who is going to have an experience with my character and my exchange, and that may contact me later. And I really honor and enjoy that contact. I really enjoy talking to fans of my work, and really enjoy people who have gotten something out of what I do for a living. It fills me with energy and inspires me to do better and to to try harder, and because you can always improve at what you do. I feel like my acting is always getting better and better.
You know, with these children, like as you said, like they don't kind of believe. Obviously, they don't believe that you're the voice and all.
Yeah.
What do they do? Is that all they do? They're like, oh no, I just don't believe you, or they like?
No, they don't even say it. They just look at. They usually just stare. They don't say anything. They just look, and they're confused, and the look on their face is confused.
So what kind of age children is this? Are they just
anywhere
like
from like 6 years old to 23? It could be anywhere in there. It's a real. I have a very diverse. Well, I play diverse characters, so my audience is very diverse. So depending on the project and what somebody's a fan of.
Because you know, sometimes there are certain voice actors that, you know, when you look at them, you're like, oh, he voices that guy or whatever. Especially with Keiji, because when I saw Keiji, and he looks like the characters he voices.
Wow!
For me, especially, you know, that's what I think. Because he has that kind of awesome hairstyle like Sima Zhao. He doesn't look much like Jan Lee, but, you know, I think if you gave him the clothes, he can pull it off.
Well, he is an actor, and he's a very good actor, so yeah, I think so too.
Especially for those McDonald's adverts. Really like those voices. You know, I really do like respect voice actors, and that's why I'm doing this. You know, it's not mainly for the voice. It's mainly for the people behind the voices, because not many people appreciate the hard work and you know, all the effort that goes in to produce these amazing voices.
Well, yeah, I have to say, the people that take the time like yourself, and that give us such love, I find that we're the luckiest, because I don't think other fan bases are as dedicated as our kind of fan base. Because if you're taking the time to honor and appreciate the voice actors on a project, that means that you're into smaller details, that you're paying attention. I think that says a lot to the people who pay attention. I'm always in awe of that, and I think that's an amazing gift that you're giving us, because we didn't get into this industry for that, because we didn't think it would happen.
You know, this episode's been going on for how many hours now? About almost 2 hours.
Woo!
Time flies.
You guys still here and listening? Because that's amazing in itself. If you've made it this far in the podcast, you get a gold star. If you've made it all the way to the end, wow.
That's a bit patronizing, isn't it?
Is it? No, I didn't mean
only a gold star. Only.
Well, let me know if you made it to the end. Send me a tweet me at Erin Fitzgerald, and let me know that you made it to the end of this podcast, because I seriously think that's amazing, and I would like to personally thank you. Because 2 hours, like, that's a commitment. I mean, 2 hours is watching a movie.
Yeah, a lot of people have actually been asking for 2 hour long episodes, because I used to do them 15 minutes long, and then people were like, no, we want it longer than that. And then I was like, okay, cool.
That is so
then I done it 30 minutes long, and then people wanted more. And then I went 1 hour, and then 2 hours. Then
I have interviews that I've done where somebody says, I heard your interview. Well, I listened to the first bit. I'm like, so nobody made it to the end. So, and that they were only at 1 hour interviews. So that's I'm always like, because people are busy in their day and life takes over. I totally understand that. I don't take offense if somebody aborted the mission somewhere earlier on. I totally understand. But if you made it all the way to the end, that's a commitment of time that you put in to share with us. And I feel very grateful for that.
At the end of the day, it's pretty amazing that people are actually watching this podcast, because when I made it, I didn't think anyone would pretty much view it.
Wow.
And, you know, because it's just started off as a hobby and something for me to do in my spare time, and, you know, it became this, you know.
That is awesome. Congratulations to you. That's a big deal.
Thanks.
When any time anybody gets to do something that they love to do, I think that should be celebrated.
And the thing is, I'm doing this for free,
Boom.
which is, and the reason I'm doing this for free is mainly for the fans, mainly for people that are listening to this, because I just don't feel right by, I don't know, getting paid to do this. It feels weird.
This is just my suggestion, and I'm sure some fans would feel the same way, because if you're putting all of your time into this, I don't think would be any. I think people would be happy to, you know, make a donation towards your time that you'd put in to do this, and you should have like a donation button for people to say thank you, and,
no, I don't.
money.
I don't think that's right. No.
Oh, I disagree. I think
don't,
giving
that's
people
right.
an opportunity not to support what you do.
You know,
There's so many
I get
people-
more satisfaction from when someone, you know, shares the episode of the podcast, or when someone says, "Hey, Bish, this was a great episode," or even when people give me negative feedback. I appreciate that more than people donating their hard-earned money, because at the end of the day, I started this podcast with nothing, and I think I can kind of continue
That's
it.
amazing. If
so-
you're able to do that, that's amazing. That's a real gift that you have, that you're able to do that.
Well, thank you. Anyway, I think we need to wrap this up, because, like I said,
Okay.
it's 2 hours, and
Yeah,
people don't want to listen for more than 2 hours because they might sleep.
thank you.
Of course. Anyway, just before I end, I have to say a couple of things. If any of you guys want to pre-order Dynasty Warriors 8 within the UK, you can from game.co.uk, and it's a free pre-order, and if you pre-order it from Game, you get a special phone pouch, which is awesome. Before it was exclusive in Japan, and you really can't find these anywhere, so it's a free pre-order. Go for it. And, you know, if you're not into collectibles and you're more into DLC, then you can always pre-order from thatgameshop.com or .co.uk, I don't know. I'll put the link in the description, and you can pre-order it for £35, which is quite awesome, because some retailers are selling it for £40 and above. You know, I've seen a GameStop in America sell the game for like $60, which is crazy.
Oh,
Considering it's not really a popular game, and they're selling it for the price of something like Call of Duty, which is just weird, you know. But I can't say anything bad about these other companies, because at the end of the day, they are companies, and their goal is to make money, which is not a bad thing, because, you know,
they have to pay
a company
lot
that
of people for their time to make
Exactly.
these things.
exactly,
Yeah.
and also the money goes to the developer. So, you know, if there's
That's important. So many game companies that I've worked for have gone under, you know. It takes a lot of people to make a game. A ridiculous number of human beings need to be involved to make a video game.
Anyway, this is pretty much the third time I tried to wrap this episode up, which is crazy, you know.
All right,
But-
goodbye everyone.
Yeah. See you guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and
Me too.
tell me who you want to see on the podcast next. You know, it was an honor having you, Erin.
Thank you so
have to
much
say.
for having me.
It's my pleasure. Anytime you want to come back on the podcast, more than welcome. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Get Life podcast. Yay!
Yay! We did it!
Hey guys, you've been listening to the Get Life podcast. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode that you were listening
Oh,
to.
Fish!
What
It's May Caker! I really want to be your girlfriend. Will you please come and give me a kiss?
No, thank you.
Oh, please, I know you want to. I have ketchup.
Oh, sorry, I have something over there to do. You know, right over there. You know, yeah, right over there, near those bins.
Okay,
Just bye.
bye.
Wow, that was so awkward. Bloody hell. Damn stalkers.